Hi YouTube.
Hey YouTube friends and family, it's your boy GB Reviews, and today I'm doing a homemade chili recipe. I'm not a chili connoisseur, but I know how good food's supposed to taste. And so I am using some advice that some of my friends have given me about making chili, and I've used some things that I'm gotten from a recipe, and I'm combining those things, and I'm gonna try to do chili for you today in an Instapot. Easy meal. I think you'll like it. We're gonna prepare everything. I'm gonna go through everything in terms of preparation. I'll tell you what to do, but and then I'll do things quickly so that you know what you need. But I'm gonna show you the ingredients first that I think you need to collect. This is gonna make your life easier, and then we'll start preparing the meat and slicing and dicing everything. So with that, let's look at the ingredients. So we're looking at the ingredients that we have here. We're starting with cumin, chili powder, the Montreal steak mix, the spicy one. I'm using Rotel because one of my friends suggested that I use the Rotel diced tomatoes, dark kidney beans, which we're gonna drain. I'm gonna use 3 cans. I'm using 2 cans of Rotel. I'm using more chili beans because I need more protein in my diet. I'm using 1.5 pounds of ground sirloin. I have habanero peppers, jalapeno peppers, and serrano peppers. We have cilantro. Instead of sugar, we're gonna use some raw honey, extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of white vinegar, chicken stock, kosher salt. I was supposed to mince garlic, but I forgot to get garlic, so I have pre-chopped garlic, 2 tomatoes, a bell pepper, and half an onion. We're gonna chop all this stuff up. I forgot, and the cayenne pepper. We're gonna chop everything up. We're gonna use the Instapot. I'm gonna show you how to use it other than a pressure cooker setting, and then you'll see. But look at all these fresh products. We're trying to change our lives, being fresh every day. So with that, let's get at it. So we're back to our daily grind of chopping vegetables and things like that. The first thing you want to do with any type of recipe is you want to prepare all of your ingredients first. So what I'm going to do first off, and I'll just run through it, but I'm going to talk you through it right now, and then I'm going to run through it, is I'm going to wash and dice all my vegetables. So you're going to wash everything, you're going to pat it dry, then you're going to dice it. Your cilantro, you want to dice finely. I'm going to cut some of the peppers and take the seeds out. And then for the habanero peppers, I'm actually going to leave in whole once we make our chili concoction, because I want to give habaneros have heat, but they also have a nice floral note. And so when they cook up in chili, they're actually quite nice. You're gonna cut your tomatoes up and you're gonna dice them into 1/4-inch chunks. So they will be really kind of like small chunks. And then your onion, I'm just using 1/2 an onion. So I'm gonna cut this up and I'm gonna slice it up. I'm gonna dice it up into small 1/4-inch chunks. We're gonna put everything in bowls. The other thing we're gonna do, prepare while we're going, and you'll see me do it, but I won't talk you through it, is we're gonna drain our chili and our kidney beans, and we're going to pour the water off. So you're just gonna have kidney beans by themselves. I'm using 3 cans. And then since I don't have to cut garlic, because I have the garlic here, then I'm good to go. And then my bell pepper, I'm gonna dice this bell pepper. Well, you wanna take the ribs out, you wanna take the seeds out, we're not gonna use that. And we're just gonna dice the bell pepper nice and fine, probably 1/4-inch chunks again. And that'll be our pre-steps. And then once we get past this step, we're gonna go into the Instapot step, which is the next part about browning the beef. So we're gonna get to chopping. I'm gonna get to moving. Now that we've finished dicing all of our vegetables, everything is diced and separated. We've drained our beans. Now we're gonna get to the meat part. So this is the pre-steps. First step is browning the meat. So we're gonna go to the Instapot. I'm gonna show you how to engage the Instapot for sauteing, because we're gonna saute the meat in the Instapot, and then All in all, this meal, after you prepare your ingredients, should take about 45 minutes to prepare. So it's gonna be quick chili in the Instant Pot. You can make it quicker than that using the chili setting, but it's not gonna be quite as good unless you do it this way. So let's move to the Instant Pot and then we'll get to the browning of the meat. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let me clean this and then I'll come right back and then we will season our meat before we brown it. So we're back and we are seasoning our meat. We're gonna just break it apart, throw some of this McCormick spicy mix in there, and then we're gonna put some kosher salt on it as well. Not too much though. Kosher salt is actually pretty strong. Not as strong as sea salt, but it's pretty strong. Whereas you can liberally use this seasoning. It's not too strong. Our kosher salt. And we're not gonna add any more salt after that. That's it for the salt for the whole meal. We're not adding any more salt. Then we're gonna put this meat in a bowl. And now we're moving to our Instant Pot. Now, so for the directions for the Instant Pot, because I just wanna show you what I'm doing over the Instant Pot, and then you will be able to see exactly what's going on. So you want to set your Instant Pot to the saute setting, and then once you set it, you want to make sure that the pot indicator says hot. Hot means that it's hot enough to actually start saute and brown meat. And so this is without the lid on. And as the pot is heating up, we season the meat with the kosher salt and the ground pepper. And now we're gonna move to the pot. So remember, saute selection, and it has to say hot. So on the Instant Pot, you're gonna select saute and then put on, and it'll give you maybe 3 selections to less, more, or regular. And it'll either be like 3 minutes, 10 minutes, or 30 minutes. You want it to say more. And then once this starts to heat up, it'll get hot and then we'll be good to go. And so once it gets hot, once this indicator says hot, then I'll show you what the next steps are. Now, once it says hot, that means you can add your oil, and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil to here. You wanna make sure you coat the bottom properly so that your beef doesn't stick. So we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and then we're going to add the beef. Now, once you have your beef in here, you're gonna make sure you use a wooden spoon or a wooden utensil, and you wanna make sure you brown it for 5 minutes. Once the 5-minute mark is done and it's gonna start to make its own liquid, we're gonna take that liquid off once we brown this for 5 minutes. I'll come back after the 5 minutes are done, and we'll take off, and we're gonna reserve the liquid from this in a bowl. So our next step, now that we've removed the liquid from the beef that was cooking, we're gonna add cumin, onions, garlic, and chili powder. And so that means that we have to add 1 tablespoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and the diced onions that we put together. So we're gonna do that right now. Now, once we've added that, you wanna mix this in, and you basically are gonna let this sit here and cook for about 5 minutes, because you want it to release the seasoning of the cumin and the chili powder. And so we're still browning this, and this goes for 5 minutes. And then we'll go to the next step. So the next step, if you look at the pot, we have to deglaze it. So you have a 1/2 cup of chicken broth and your tomato paste mixture. We're going to pour 1/2 in there into the pot. And then what we need to do is we need to like scrape off the bottom. I need you to get in there and get it good. And I'm gonna, if you see with the Instant Pot, it just comes off. Once you put that liquid mixture in there, you can clean the bottom, but you gotta get all of that. You wanna get all of that off. We wanna deglaze the bottom. So you wanna make sure you go all the way through your chili. You wanna mix that in because that's part of the goodness of your chili, but you gotta make sure you deglaze the whole bottom. And you're gonna let that cook for about 5 minutes. And then we're gonna move on to our next step. But if you look at C, you see how easy it is? You see that I was able to pretty much get it off the whole thing. When you saw it before, you're like, oh man, that's gonna be a hell of a cleaning job. But no, once you pour in half of your broth mixture, it comes out quite easily. And then we're gonna move on to our next step. So now that the deglazing is finished, we're gonna go and we're gonna add all the rest of our ingredients. You wanna add the reserved beef stock that you put, you wanna add that back. Tomatoes, we're adding our whole peppers because now we're gonna transition to the pressure cooking part of it. And we're gonna add our chopped cilantro. And then we're gonna pressure cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes. But first I'm gonna mix it in because I want everything mixed in. And the final step is that we add the kidney beans and we mix everything together. And now we're gonna pressure cook it, like I said, for 10 to 12 minutes. And then you should have a nice chili mixture. But we're gonna switch it over. I'm gonna show you how to switch everything over to pressure cook. And then we're gonna start pressure cooking because right now it's on saute. So now we put our pressure cooker lid back on. You wanna move your steam valve to close. And then we are going to go down here and we're gonna go to pressure cook. And we're gonna pressure cook it only for, I'm gonna do 12 minutes. Actually, I'm gonna do 15 minutes. And then we'll see what it looks like. So we're gonna let this go, and this is gonna pressure cook for 15 minutes. And then once we get done with that, we're gonna let it pressure cook for 15 minutes. And once we're done with that, we should have some nice chili. So I'm gonna get back to you after this pressure cooks for 15 minutes. I'm gonna clean up my kitchen a little bit. And then hopefully we'll have some really good chili to eat today. All right, family, we're done cooking. And now we're just releasing the pressure. It's almost done. And then we're gonna see what this chili looks like. Then we're gonna plate it and we'll do a tasting. So, but this homemade chili should be good. I pressure cooked it for 15 minutes. And so if for some reason it's not done the way you want it, the consistency is not exactly like you want it when it's done, you can put it back on saute for a few minutes and let some of the water come out of it. And then that way you'll get the right consistency. I released all the pressure. So if you look at the chili, my chili is like more of a, it's not nearly as thick as some people's chilies. If I wanted it thicker, I could put a little bit of flour in here, which would thicken it up. But I actually like it this consistency. I'm actually going for less calories, more protein. But we're gonna plate it and then we'll taste it. But like I said, if you wanted to cook this down, you can put it on saute. And then this will simmer down and then it'll be a thicker chili afterwards. So YouTube, I made my chili. You can see with the cheese. I'll drop some pictures in there. We're eating this with just chili and some French bread that I have. Like I said, I like my chili more of a consistency of a soup. It's not very thick, but you can reduce it afterwards. We're gonna taste it, see how it turned out. I think it smells good. We'll see if it turned out really well, and the proof will be in the pudding. That's really good. I mean, it's my own recipe, but it tastes like the way I made it. If you've ever had chili from Wendy's, that's the kind of chili that it reminds me of. It's a very good, hearty chili, spicy, but not like thick where you feel heavy after eating it. This is actually kind of light. A chili that's perfect for the summertime. I think you'll enjoy it. If you like this recipe, check it out. It's my own recipe. I made it up, but I'm using the Instant Pot because I told you I was going to use more of the kitchen utensils that I had. So it's an Instant Pot recipe for chili at home, spicy. And if you like it, let me know. Hit the like button for the algorithm. Please hit the notification bell so you can see when my other videos come out. Please subscribe to my channel because I appreciate all the views that you guys are giving me. And please give me suggestions of things you want me to try to cook because I am up and game for cooking many things because we're at home now. So with that, it's your boy GB Reviews. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Subscribe, eat my chili, and like below.
Subscribe right below.